on their results. Dukes takes on Benjamin Drew Roos in the opening match of today's tournament. James Wade's got a toughie against Alan Suter, of course, one of the winners of our last doubleheader over in Hildesheim. Dirk van Dijvenbode, well, he's taking on Andy Barton, the Belgian, another tough match. Gilding plays Mervyn King. As Heta here looks for another one of those. For tops.
Game shot.
Stunning stuff. Turning up the heat. 160 checkout from the Australian number one.
$85. $134. $62. Game shot.
Well, there we go. Super stuff from Aspinall. Old pros and current pro pundits, when you are playing well, you don't hear any of that, but when you're struggling a little bit, you often hear everything. Just trying to pump himself up as he walked back there. The Aspie's in the same position as he was in the previous leg, 61 to win the match. Last time he went for the 25 and he hit the bull, so he's changed his plan here. 45 for double eight.
45.
Doesn't quite work out, but he will hope to be back with Heta on a big one. He'll be looking at treble 19. He won't be getting it. And he might be getting his stuff and leaving 60. The arena. As Aspinall eyes up. Double eight.
Game shot.
And finds it. It's been some time since White last tasted title triumph.
57.
Actually, his main concern these days
60
is ensuring he maintains professional status. He should do that. Projected to be 52nd in the world
100
come the end of the season. Currently 62nd. Does need to get a few results.
81.
Double top.
Game shot.
Burton is making that very difficult for White, who last won her.
$83. $81.
$18 then would leave tops. Maybe, just maybe, Ian White is turning this tie around. And Ian White is in trouble.
$85.
The first little flinch, but White will have to hope Burton doesn't clean up the 96. His only job now is to pile on pressure, hit and hope.
134.
Didn't do a bad job of hitting, but now here comes the hoping.
60.
And he gets the answer to his prayer.
Single. Single, yeah.
Double top to stay in it.
36.
It's over the top.
Game
and Stephen Burton
match.
Finishes the job, did really well there. Good.
Why not him? But if you need evidence as to how open the season has been, 12 Players' Championships, 12 winners, of which Alan Suter is one of them. But there are other things to say as well. Only 8 of the top 16 have won a ranking tournament this year.
140.
That's not a lot. Is it a shot of the ball again? It isn't. It's double 11. And that is very good. The forecast in Milton Keynes over the next couple of days, it does stipulate a shower or two. But the rest are getting better, and there's a bigger cluster of players who can do it now. That's why he's in this position.
60.
Just worth saying as well how hard it is to qualify through that order of merit, the Pro Tour order of merit. Alan Suter won one of these events. He would still need to win another one
65.
just to get in the top 16 now, and wouldn't be safe. He'd be 500 quid again ahead of Kevin Dukes, who James Wade is currently chasing, £500 behind.
Speaking of which, Kevin Dukes is now 5-2 up on Benjamin Drew Royce on board 15. So Wade has got to find things like this. He's not got the first double of 2.
56.
And now Alan Suter gets a look at that very shot.
Suter's had chances, but Wade could have led this match.
Game shot.
3-0.
Well, they almost were in darts.
Yeah, full credit to Luke Humphreys and Michael Smith on bringing it home for England.
100.
Wade is going to have a chance to win this match. And considering he was 3-2 down, this could be some kick.
74.
He's going to have to go for treble 18 now, and he's just opened the door here for Alan Suter.
21, 56. 56.
They're the kind of mistakes that he just didn't used to make. I mean, even there, getting the treble 16 instead of the single. That's something he would never have done a few years ago. Well, this is awkward now. We saw a miraculous double 16 dart from Ricky Evans on the other board.
No
We're not going to get something akin to that from Suits. And now Wade has left himself on double 4 to progress.
Game shot and the match.
The road to Blackpool begins with a single step, and James Wade has just taken it. He needed to as well. The player he's chasing in Kevin Dukes had won in the first round.
Your opponent to bridge.
$84.
It's good enough to get to a finish after 9. And when you're forcing your opponent to max, to even just get to a 3-dart out,
134.
that's always a good situation to be in. Doesn't have to do anything tricky here. He can lay up
57.
and then come back for tops for a second consecutive world-class leg to get that elusive hold of throw in this match.
134.
Just applying some grip aid to his hands. Can he get a grip on the game? Can he get a hold?
Game shot.
He does. Don't think it was. 64 would have been a bit better, Keegan. Maybe it doesn't matter.
120.
Looks like such an uncomplicated action from Evans, doesn't it? But this game could be very complicated if another 82 was found.
95.
He's left himself on double 3, somewhat accidentally, and they're both on horrible-looking doubles.
I think he's got a lot wrong there in the last couple of visits, Keegan Brown. He may well get away with it, but he left himself 101 when he could have been leaving 100. He's then gone for the ball with 2 darts in hand on 82. Ends up on double 3.
He can use a slider here. He can skid off the top of the first one.
No
But he
score.
doesn't get the height of it. That was a great marker with the first dart. But unfortunately for Keegan, instead of being in front, he might just be behind again.
Game shot.
Well, it's a game that's had every kind of leg, and missing doubles. Where would you rather be? 1, 4, 5 and throwing, 1, 2, 4 and waiting.
One, 2, 4 is just a little bit easier.
50.
But that single 5 makes the next visit a lot harder if he gets a go. What's he doing here? Well, that caught me very surprised.
108.
Yeah, total madness, really, wasn't it?
I think, was he going 2 treble 17s for double 11?
55.
The problem was, once he hit the treble, he needed to find another one. But he does find the double, and he does win the match. Keegan Brown, a 6-5 victory against Lee Evans. He goes through to take on James Wade in the second round. A really hard-fought contest that was.
Seeded. And that's just 3 names. Maybe being seeded today is a bit of a poisoned chalice. Because the amount of seeds we lost in round 1, I cannot remember the last time that happened.
140.
Great shot from Reese. He needs another. The double 12. That's a brilliant finish.
Game shot.
Don't underestimate just how good Reese Griffin can be today. He's not got match play pressure. All he's looking to do is make his second board final of the season.
100.
Double 18 again.
70.
I hated that dart at double 9. I don't blame him. It was never close. And it could be the same shot for Griffin that Dirk has hit, but he's not going to get it the same way. In fact, he's not going to get it at all. Now we're starting to see a little bit of measured breathing from the Aubergenius here. Double 2.
7.
Well, if he's measuring anything, he had the measurement wrong. How does Reese fare on the same shot?
Reese. 5.
He knew the moment that was out of his fingers that that wasn't going in. He will expect this to go in, and it does. 4-2 Dirk. Last 4, final, get a win. Griffin's thinking 4-4.
125.
He's had a poke at a 145, a 140. Now he's going to get another look at double 10.
57. Game shot.
I think he enjoyed that one. He's got every right to feel that way. They have played before as well, but it was 9 years ago in a development tour match which Reese Griffin won.
180.
And that might just be one of the best 180s he's hit this year. Shot was on.
96.
But the moment the statement comes out from my mouth, the shot is off, and now the match could be finished. It could all be about tomorrow for Dirk, because if this double goes in, his match play race will be hanging by a thread.
Game
It's a
shot
board final
and the
for Reese
match.
Griffin. That wonderful maximum, his penultimate visit, gave him that 42, which he took out. You can see how much it means to him. It's not just about match play races today. It's just behind Keane Barry. He's only 150 quid behind him as well.
58.
It's a really curious set of races that they have in the development tour, which we can
46.
list out to you at the start of leg number 4. But I wonder what the score's going to be after 3 legs.
60.
Don't discount the possibility of 3-0 here. Bullseye. And there it
Game
is.
shot.
Never discount a chance like that for someone who's in form. And Michael Smith has been pushed into the corner. World champion.
60.
And then all of a sudden, in a matter of 10 minutes, you are all square. The emotional swings in this sport are not for everybody.
44.
This is a monstrous shot, and he knows it. Can he find that 60? Double 16. Michael Smith does not want to hear. Game shot, and
80.
it doesn't. But now he does want to hear it. As Andrew Gilding wins his game with Desvaughn by 6 legs to 1. Michael Smith goes for bull.
89.
That's the second time in this match on 114 he's gone for 19s and then resorted to plan B on 45 bull.
Game shot.
Neither time it worked, and now Nyman has got multiple. Last 16 is Wesley P, the world master. So much to talk about today.
135.
But Michael Smith wants us to talk about him. He wants us to talk about
96.
3 legs at the end to give him a 6-5 win. It's still possible.
Game
Still
shot.
very possible. He needs a break and a hold. Nathan Rafferty is through to the last 16. He's beaten Nick Kenny 6-2. And my word, that's an
180.
impressive maximum. Maturity and aggressiveness in one from Nyman.
123.
And he might just find himself in a position that Michael Smith can do nothing about. For the 12 darter and the win. He must go bull. And he
Game
finds it as
shot
well.
And the match.
It's a sensational 12 dart hold at the end. Michael Smith loses to Nyman in their first meeting, and into the last 16, the young Dutchman goes. A fabulous game at times for Nyman, who found himself 4-0 to the good. Then that key leg where he found himself at 5-3 up instead of all square.
I'm convinced that Wade will want to address that sooner rather than later. Now, if that comes with the added bonus of getting him into a world match play,
100.
then all well and good. But I think James Wade is looking at other objectives as well. So I think, you know, we can't lose sight of that.
I think that's absolutely fair. And when he won that Players' Championship against Steve Beaton in November of 2022, he was on a little bit of a drought before that. It just so happens that he seems to address
92.
these problems at very, very good moments. This is a good start from James.
Game
And that is
shot.
an 11-dart start. Who could possibly stop him today? Well, there are players left in the last 16 who have got great success.
Yeah, I do like Wesley. I mean, we've seen bits and pieces of him on the Euro Tour as well. He's always a player who strikes me as somebody who
140.
always gives absolutely everything, tries so hard, doesn't always get his reward as well. Hasn't been blessed with the kindest of draws at times, I think, on the European Tour stage. But when he's had the opportunities,
100.
he's looked like a player who maybe is guilty of trying a bit too hard at times. Beats himself up a little bit too much as well, maybe when things don't go to plan. But yeah, I like a lot about Wesley.
It's going to be a missed
90.
single for James Wade. Not what I was expecting to see, to be honest. But this could be 3-2. Get the single, which he does. Double 18.
98.
Well, Wade must have been fearing the worst there. Must have been contemplating having to step back up at 3-2. As it is, it could be 4-1, and
shot.
it is 4-1. A little bit of a let-off for James Wade, but he still had to satisfy his side of the equation. Wade looking at 265, making full use of the 19s. Continuing to make full use of the 19s.
133.
Well, that will do. 7 19s leaves him on that 1-3-2. Barney needs something big here, certainly now. Another one of those would be very welcome.
Do you remember when Phil
100.
Taylor hit this against James at the match play to win it? And it was this way as well. It was 25-57 bull with a blocked bullseye. And years later, he gets his own back for 5-3 in a Players' Championship in Milton Keynes. That was vintage Wade.
And all of a sudden, James Wade has renewed sense of belief and
100.
well, whole new levels of optimism once again. He just looked to be going off the boil, I thought, over the past leg and a half or so. But a timely injection once again. And who knows, he might finish off with a 9-dart leg, because that is 6 perfect darts for James Wade. And Barney looking at 301.
He's got a history of plenty of 9-darters.
44.
But this is always the best time to get one. The final leg of the contest. He's not going to have a perfect leg, but he'll take 6-3 and run.
100.
Yeah, 41 points away. Barney on 257. Wade will be delighted with the position that he finds himself in. I thought he was in grave danger there of being paid back at 4 legs all, but yeah, timely injection once again. Tops here then for Wade for a passage into the quarterfinals here in Milton Keynes. And James Wade keeping the dream alive and keeping hopes of Blackpool very much on course as well. The World Match Play champion for 2007 may well be returning in 2024. Time of things as well. Steve Beaton, Jermaine Watamena, Kevin Dirts, you mentioned as well, a player who was in the reckoning, or still is in the reckoning for Blackpool. Come what may at the end of the day. And Ricky Evans, who I thought started the day really well and looked to be potentially a dark horse for success on Players' Championship 13. But here we go, Clayton and Smith for a place in the semi-finals. Smith throwing first, Clayton with a slender
55.
advantage. Having got down to 1-3-1 after 9 darts, Smith has just clawed himself back into contention. But that leaves 80. That leaves another one of those. And that leaves Johnny Clayton with the first leg in the bag. And what a way to start off, Paul Nicholson.
Absolutely. I think he enjoyed that. He didn't even realise he had the darts in leg 2. That speaks volumes, doesn't it? Think about how great 82. Johnny Clayton is. He's only got half the amount of Players' Championship wins as Brendan Dolan.
Yeah, that's quite a telling statistic. That little bit for Ross Smith to think about here, because he's just taking a glance to see where Johnny Clayton is. Clayton's on 179, so doesn't need to be overly concerned about trying to
85.
Take out that 1-2-1. The first 20 left in the 101. I think he decided to stay where he was because percentage-wise, that's probably the best play in that situation. Although Johnny Clayton could
99.
punish him. And look what he's left. Maybe tops again if he gets the chance. I think he might go for the treble first time. Who knows? Anyway, 99 here. Well, Johnny Clayton
27.
does have that decision to make now, doesn't he? He took out tops in the first leg. Different sort of situation now. Yeah, I thought that he might do that. Just the 1 dart at tops.
Game shot.
Because if you miss the first dart, then that's where the problems can set in. But Johnny Clayton, whether it's 2 darts at double 20 or just the 1, it's the same outcome. Ross Smith looks like somebody's just run over his dog. 2-1.
Tournaments he's ever played in, he might be thinking of going 1 better.
63.
He doesn't get another chalk mark there in leg 4 just yet.
Well, 3 breaks of throw so far in this one. Ross Smith now looking at 98. Can't find the treble 20. There was only one way to go there. And he was really under pressure. And now Johnny Clayton with this all-important elusive hold of throw for a 3-1 lead. Just inside for double 4. Ooh, and just
17.
outside as well. And Ross Smith lives to fight another day in this 4th leg.
He can count himself very lucky there. How many times do you see Johnny Clayton miss 25?
Game
Not
shot.
very often. In fact, how many times do you see Johnny Clayton go for double 4 on a 20?
I think Smith from here looks very, very handily placed, actually. Shame about that second dart.
Well, that first dart
90.
was about as perfect as he could have. And he's dragged both darts 2 and 3.
Well, he'll be bitterly frustrated that he's not gone down to less than a ton there.
122.
And all of a sudden, Johnny Clayton, he's left himself double 15 again. So maybe it was by design rather than accident, Paul, although you've got one or two quizzical eyebrows there.
I wouldn't say that it was intentional with Johnny.
40.
It may be somewhat serendipitous because it might bring him level. Double 15 is not a bad guide, that. And there you go, it is 3-3. Let's find out a little bit later.
But Ross Smith can make it his, or certainly can make it this leg his, with a big visit here. And this would be, if he can find a way through, a break of throw that would leave him throwing for the match.
140.
That'll do nicely, I suspect. Down to a finish first on a Clayton throw.
I think this is the kind of finish that Ross wants to leave.
125.
Because he's not going to need double 16 here. He can use 36.
Well, let's see where the first dart goes. 70 away. Bullseye. Oh,
Game shot.
Beautifully done by Ross Smith. 87 checkout on the bullseye. That's a very significant hold of throw. Not the first hold of throw in this match, of course, but Ross Smith with a timely interjection with that break of throw. Now he's looking to hold for a 6-3 win and a passage into a fourth semi-final on the Players' Championship this year.
In the contest. Changes his mind. So he goes for Shanghai 18s.
90.
And he's just missed the target. Wasn't far away at all. Well, this is it, Johnny. You have to find this 68, I imagine. Otherwise, you'll be on your way back to the hotel. Ready to draw breath for tomorrow, and he has kept himself going at 5-4. Breaks back straight away. On we go.
And we do have our first semi-finalist. If he doesn't hit it, that shot he had at double 18 to win by 6 legs to 3 might be the only shot he gets to win this match.
He's got to go. He's looking at the 19s. He was giving it a good long think. OK, single sleeve 110. Only one way to go here, and he's a long way away from that treble 20. That was a very loose dart. So 109 remaining. Might, just
40.
stay where he is to leave 89. So he's got a 2-dart combination incoming if he gets the chance. Clayton, however, has one of his own. Bullseye.
61.
That's a rare miss at the ball for Johnny. Didn't have any joy in 25 earlier. Or how much he would like to have a crack at it now. But it depends on Ross on the ball.
64.
Same result. Are we going the distance?
I think we could well be. Oh, he's busted his score. He's hit the wrong bed, and Johnny Clayton has committed the cardinal sin, and Ross Smith is looking at the same number, and he's now looking at the same target. Will it be a different outcome? Well, he's stayed well away from the double 16. And he finds the double 8, and Ross Smith withstands the pressure of Johnny Clayton, and he produces yet another break of throw in the 10th and what turned out to be the final leg as well. And for the 4th time this year on the Players' Championship circuit, Ross Smith is through to the semi-final once again. A match 7. But he's starting to hit that treble 20 bed with a lot of frequency now, is Wesley Plaisier. And again, the approach play is strong, and he's left himself double 16, and Plaisier looking much the stronger of the two. Crabtree
140.
looking like a man who knows that he's working very hard to stay in touch, and he's going to have to work a little bit harder as well, because Plaisier has found a 13-darter to extend his lead. He's got the break at 2-1. He's extended his lead with a 13-darter for a 3-1 lead, and all of the pounds will go a long way in terms of the next step of their career. No doubt about that, but Plaisier just can't stay away from that treble 20 bed right now. Absolutely motoring down to 85. Crabtree, once again, this is a better leg from him, but he still needs to find a little bit more.
59.
And he can only produce a 59. Now he's down to a finish if Plaisier fluffs his lines on 85. That leaves 70. Long way away from that treble 15 bed, in all honesty. That leaves the bullseye. And he's found the bullseye as well. 85 checkout, and nothing going wrong at all here for Wesley Plaisier. Brilliant stuff once again. Another break of throw, 2 in succession. An 85 checkout. And two times a Challenge Tour title winner. Crabtree down to a finish on the Plaisier throw. But once again, Plaisier finding the treble 20 bed just when he needed it most this time as well. Crabtree must be just wondering when Plaisier is going to slip up.
94.
70 plays 92. Plaisier on strike first. Maybe the more manageable, more gettable target. Well, that's scuppered him a little bit. That leaves double 10 for a 5-1 lead, and it didn't matter about the slip-up because he made amends anyway. It's a 92 checkout to follow the 85. It's another impressive finish by Wesley Plaisier, and he's now 2 away from a place in the final of Players' Championship 13. Himself 116, which is a 1 treble visit.
96.
Not that sort of treble though. 101 can still get this. Treble 17 for bullseye. Doesn't need to be aggressive with Crabtree on 85 anyway. 44 away. Yep, that leaves double 16. So still thinking very clearly out there as well is Plaisier. Even when he loses his way momentarily, he picks up the pieces nicely, gets back into the saddle very quickly 45. As well. Just the 45 from Crabtree. That's not really going to cut the mustard at this stage of the match. Plaisier looking at 32 for a 13 darter, and that's exactly what he's got. And this is very, very impressive indeed. The treble 19 for good measure as well, but that will do to an extent. Much depends on the visit of Crabtree here.
51.
.97 away. Gets the treble. Big moment. Tops. First match start is missed by Wesley Plaisier. Will he return? There is the answer.
99.
So Wesley Plaisier has been dominant in this semi-final. He's already missed 1 match start. He's missed another one there, but he's got 2 clear darts at double 10. This is his moment,
30.
But it's a moment that will have to wait a little longer because he's starting to miss the doubles when he's been so sure-footed all throughout this semi-final in the main. Double 20 for Crabtree to keep his dream alive in this semi-final. And he gets it as well. What a moment that is. What a turning point that could be in this semi-final. 6-2 the score, with Plaisier having missed a cluster of darts at double for the match as well. May well have 9 darts from here, the way things are going. Plaisier, 72 away. Ooh, 65 now, so, yeah,
68.
A little bit messy. That leaves 54.
.92.
Yeah, the reaction tells its own story. Crabtree has just lost his way in this 10th leg, just when it looks as though he was going to make life difficult for Plaisier. Plaisier 4 missed darts at the match already, but this time he takes full advantage on tops, and that all in all has to be regarded as a dominant display by Plaisier. Lost his way momentarily in the latter stages of that one, but in the final reckoning, it is a first Pro Tour final for Wesley Plaisier against his Challenge Tour rival Cameron Crabtree.